Okay, good morning, everybody. Good morning. Good morning. Super. I think, hope you have had a good breakfast, am I right? Fully energetic. Not really? Okay. And make sure like you are staying comfortable here. It's not only educative. At the same time, we wanted to make sure you are having a good stay here and the comfortable because you come from different parts of the world, traveling all these places to learn some new things and see how best you can take these learnings to your respective institutes to further strengthen the existing systems. That means it's not only the educational, at the same time, unless and until we are comfortable, the learning might not be joyful. Okay? Along with me, I have my colleagues. Before that one, let me introduce, I'm Dilip Kumar. I'm serving at CRUSAT as a global leader for knowledge sharing and innovation. Along with me, Pradyut Modi, and he is my colleague, and he is heading Information Systems Unit. And Chukka Srinivas Rao, and he is heading Data Management Unit here. And Sumant Kumar. And Monica, she joining with us today, and she will be with us in the capacity of consultant. She has an expertise in facilitating this kind of sessions and also organizing capacity building activities in more innovative way. She is kind enough and agreed to join with us to help in this process. Okay, other than that, you can see the young, dynamic, passionate, committed scholars and research fellows who are helping in this process, and Bhavana, and Madhavi, Nandini, Priyanka, Neharika, Kanika, Nilesh, and Upender, Pentu, Vijay, and Mutyam, and also the administration responsibilities, the Murli, and Prasad also will be there, and Venkat. Other than this, you can see many people, the resource persons who are coming here, bringing a lot of knowledge and experiences to share their wealth of knowledge to all of you, and as well as we are also learning some new things. Make sure like you are sharing or bringing your challenges, and we always see the challenges as opportunities for us to see how we can work together with all of you and create some new initiatives and the innovations. Okay? And in this capacity building activity, we have divided the responsibility to make it more effective. And Modi Saab, and he will be the session coordinator for next 4 days. And you are going to know more details about how we are doing this particular capacity building activities and all these details in the afternoon session. Before that one, we thought of having some kind of ice breaking because some of you familiar with each other and some new faces. We wanted to make sure you know each other during these 4 days. So it's a kind of session and an idea brought by Monica to make sure we will have that kind of opportunity to know each other. And other than that, I have introduced all the people, and Prasad is here. And also Chris, she will be joining with us as one of the resource persons from Michigan State University. She is also joining with us. Okay, and let me hand over to Monica. And before that, Modisa, would you like to say something? Okay. And let's see like what she's going to do. Monica.
A very warm welcome to you all to the Capacity Development Program on Appropriate Technologies and Innovative Approaches for Agriculture Knowledge Sharing. I assume most of you don't know each other very well. So before moving on to serious stuff, we hereby like give an opportunity to you to know each other or know each other better, whichever applies. So the activity is like each person has to reach out to as many possible participants in 10 minutes and get a kind of a database from him, his name, his affiliation, like the organization wherever he works, his role in the workplace, his designation or what he does at his workplace, and like what he expects from this program. And lastly, you have to extract a little known fact from him about himself, which not like most of the people know about him. Yes? So you have to get it from the person whom you have met like barely 2 minutes ago. So let's see how well you can do it in 10 minutes. You have to reach out to maximum people among the participants. Yes? You can do it? So your time starts now, 9:40.
9:50 we will come back.
Yeah, 9:50 we come back and see what you have. Proposal in beat. And then I got a chance to go to Germany to start my PhD again. So I thought, okay, let's leave it, drop it. Then I went there. Uh, the same institute where Prachi was working, it's IPK in Calcutta. But we were not working in the same department, so it was a completely different area. And I couldn't continue. So I myself, and the rules there are pretty difficult. Like if you're expecting, then you can't work with, because my work was on molecular. Completely, like all the southern plots and all the protein acids and all that. So they don't allow you to work with any kind of radioactive or any kind of whatever. They have a huge list. In India, nobody bothers. But there, they won't let you do it. So practically, like, it was better to resign rather than just sitting there. They can't throw you out. But it's not good to just sit around. Moreover, when you're in a foreign country, you don't have the support to bring up your kids, so you have to anyways support. That's that was long back when I did a full-time job. Hello. Pens down, please. Oh, you want grace time or what? So let's see. So who thinks he has got the most? Anybody? Who thinks has got the most data entries?
You can say it with the number of brewing world.
Anybody wants to come up with a number? Any number? 20? 11? Okay. Anybody more than 11? 11. Wow. Tie-ups. I have to give grace period then. Too many tie-ups. All 11? More than 11? 11. 15. Wow. Wow. So I guess 15 is a winner. Yeah, sure. That deserves a clap. And would you like to share some names?
15. Yeah.
Some names?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Sadasivam.
Okay.
Yeah. And
Hi.
Chandrasekhar. And Vijaya.
Hi.
Madhuri. Vasu and Sandeep. Two Sandeeps. Jagger Sandeep and
Okay, hi.
And Shanti, Vijaya, Thiru, Sriramurthy and Sachin, Gurumurthy and Venkatrao, Dr. Venkatrao and myself.
Okay. You count yourself? So, okay, you counted yourself. Now tell me like a little known fact about yourself. I won't like reveal other people's secret, but you can tell about yourself.
Yeah, I'm actually Dr. Patro, senior scientist.
Okay.
And I'm working in an agriculture research station. I'm basically work with the millets.
Okay.
And we are doing some extension programs like tribal supplant. So especially millets among the tribal people.
Okay. And the last one, the little known fact about you. The fact not many people know.
Yeah.
Nothing, you don't want to share it?
Basically pathologist.
That everybody knows. Something which like most people don't know about you. Today is a good chance. You should tell everyone, I think. Is there something? No? You didn't add it in your list? Anybody got that part of the thing? No? Nobody did. Then I think I'll have to like not give any prizes for it. You did half the survey. Yes? So Dilip, Dr. Dilip, what do you say? We have a winner? They don't Oh my God, that will be a pity.
Given to Petro.
Yeah.
Sorry?
Some concern should be given.
Yeah, I'm basically I'm Patro, even though I'm working in Vijayanagaram, I'm from ancestors are from Odisha.
Okay.
That's why I got the name Patro.
So now everybody knows it. That was a secret. Good. We have a prize for you. Come. Would you like to hand it over? Should I? Okay. Great. Yay, thank you. It's no, pen drive.
Known facts which you don't know, we know that one. And maybe you can take help of some of your friends. They can say about you, though you got the gift. Who is your friend here before you come here? Well, sir, can you tell something which even he doesn't know? Huh? Yeah, tell something.
Yeah, that also was I tell first that most our people doesn't know, and I tell most of the things which he doesn't know.
Uh-huh.
So he's a good scientist.
Oh, that and all we know, sir. We brought only very, very good people here. Not those things. Whomever you are seeing, highly talented, very good people only here.
Thanks. So that photo is a good extrovert.
Extrovert? Okay.
He makes a good comfort of the people surround him.
Uh-huh.
This is good character of him. That I think you will be knowing later, but now may not be knowing many people.
You know that one? You are just like a honeycomb, like everybody is surrounding by you. No? Oh, but you did not tell that one. You need to share the prize with him then.
Thank you.
Okay. That's a good one, and I hope you guys have an opportunity to know at least each other some extent, and you will have a plenty of time to share your research interests and the experiences. What we thought, like before the inaugural session, since you are here, at the same time, why not we take this opportunity to share with you the little bit of the work what we are doing, how that is relevant to this capacity building program, as well as how that is relevant to the ongoing activities of the ICRUSAT, as well as what you can take some part of that work to your respective institutions, organizations. You are here because some way or other time, either you might have contacted us, otherwise you are going to be part of some upcoming initiatives in ICRUSAT. So we are going to create some kind of groups and also see how we can continue to have our collaboration. Okay? Yeah, before going into the details, I'm going to take just half an hour or 40 minutes, and after that we can have 1 or 2 questions. That doesn't mean like we can't take more questions. During the lunch breaks or the dinner times, we have plenty of opportunities to have the discussions. Okay? And the title though that says like appropriate technologies and innovative approaches for agriculture knowledge sharing, but these are experiences from ICRUSAT only, and you will see the resource persons bringing experiences from their respective areas also. Before going into the details, let me briefly give you some kind of idea what ICRUSAT means and also its existence. Some of you are aware of that one and some of you are new to the CGIAR centers. ICRUSAT is one of the CGIAR centers, consultative group of international agricultural research, which focuses on semi-arid tropics. Other than that, you may see the sister concerns located in this campus and the representatives coming from those centers also here. Okay, like International Water Management Institute, International Livestock Research Institute, and there are several other institutions. We are sitting on the headquarters of ICRUSAT. Headquarters is located in Hyderabad. You can see the Patancheru. And it's no longer to be in Andhra Pradesh, and it's Telangana. Let me correct it right away, because it might be, Chris, just for your information, recently the Andhra Pradesh has been bifurcated into 2 different states, and also the other participants who were not aware of that one, that's Telangana and Andhra Pradesh. Now we are sitting in Telangana, so the headquarters is located in Telangana. Other than that, our research focuses not only in South Asia and even in sub-Saharan African countries also. We have 2 regional centers. One is located in Mali that focuses on Western and Central Africa, and the other one is in Nairobi that's located in the Kenya country. So apart from this one, we have the country offices in Bulawayo, Ethiopia, and Kano in Niger, and even what else, Malawi. So these are the offices. Other than, we do have an administration office in Delhi. So though we have our presence in these countries, but our activities focuses on almost like our provides benefits to the 55 countries, which covers the part of the semi-arid tropic regions of almost like 6.5 million square meters, and also help providing or bring these benefits to the 2.5 billion people in the globe. Most of our research activities focuses on these nutritious crops like sorghum, pearl millet, groundnut, chickpea, and PG&P. And our vision is a prosperous, food secure, and resilient dryland tropics with a mission to reduce poverty, hunger, malnutrition, and environmental degradation in the dryland tropics. And our approach is inclusive market-oriented development, and you might have aware of the value chain approaches, which is much talked in the recent years, that covers from the farm to fork, the various interventions, what we need to bring out. And what differently we look at here is most of these value chain approaches provides benefits to the corporate sectors. But we see how we can bring the smallholder farmers and bring a kind of transition from subsistence agriculture to market-oriented agriculture to bring them better product, to give them better productivity and also the profitability. That's our new approach. And you will have an opportunity to learn more when you will be visiting the SAT Ventures at the same time from the ICRUSAT website also, if you like to learn more about the I-mode approach. So essentially the biggest challenge what we are seeing nowadays, we all talked about this climate change, and you always attend several conferences and meetings, and you often hear the climate change, the fluctuations in climate change, and even the population explosion, land degradation, the energy crisis. Most importantly, the biggest questions what we are asking ourselves, how we can feed the 9.2 billion people by 2050. And even this year, the Norman Borlaug, the World Food Price Dialogue, especially focusing on this particular question and seeing the ways how we are improving the productivity to feed those 9.2 billion people, otherwise satisfy the demands from the future generations. So the one way we need to look at is, it's going to continue to pose a critical challenge. It's not only the security, even it's an accessibility and the affordability also. But most of us, like, we focus on bringing these high-yielding varieties. That's good. But at the same time, if you can see the green revolution also, the dwarf varieties actually brought from Mexico to here in India. And what we have done, we brought those best learning experiences from that part of the world to this part of the world. That's a success story. So the biggest question is how we can take the impressive gains in productivity found in some parts of the world and make them the norm across the developing parts of the globe. That's the challenge. And here we are seeing it's the hope hypothesis schematic framework, like the practices, because in most of the farmers' fields you see they follow the low input, the inputs are important, at the same time combining with the climate. These are the low input practices. You can see the difference. It's actually expected yields, because if the fields have a capacities of produce 100%, but the farmers would be able to get only 40 to 50% only, because they are not getting the right information at the right time. Otherwise, they are not getting a full package, so to exploit the full benefits. So that's where we need to see what kind of knowledge or information we need to bring it out. So that's where we focus on in our knowledge sharing and innovation program. And essentially, you will have an opportunity to see what are the other research programs at ICRUSAT. Essentially, we have 4 major research programs here. Those are like grain legumes and dryland cereals, which focuses on the crop improvement program. And the other one is the markets and the institutional policies, and brings the best of these research results or the evidence-based research results to provide the policy briefs to help the governments to create the policy recommendations and to better improve the conditions of the nations or the various governments. And the other program area is resilient dryland systems, where we focus on these natural resource management, watersheds, and the climate change aspects and everything. The knowledge sharing and innovation positioned as a critical cross area, or it's a cross-cutting area. What we do, we cut across all these program areas and transform these research results into data, information, and education services to satisfy the information needs, knowledge needs of various stakeholders, that may be donor agencies, that may be NAS partners, or whoever interested in our research results. That includes the students, faculty members, extension agents, any agricultural professionals would like to learn these things or enhance their capacities or bring some kind of remarkable changes in their existing practices. with a focus to help the primary producers. That's how we execute our activities, and also we position in that particular area. We execute most of these activities with 5 different units. I have introduced a few of my colleagues who are heading those units, like information systems unit, you can see, that sustains the technology edge of the ECRUSAT, and the data management unit essentially see how they can open up these data sets, the validated data sets, to the global community, to do not allow to go for the do not allow to do the repetitive research. Okay, and the other one is the learning systems unit. Mainly, it's more like a training division, mainly focusing on enhancing the capacities of the various individual. If you wanted to learn a new technology, you will be recruited through this particular program and deployed in that particular research area, we can see. And the other one is the library and information services. And you are aware of the libraries and how those libraries work. But what we do in our case, we always focus on how we can do things differently and innovatively. Sometimes it's an out-of-box thinking. If you need to access a publication, you need to step into a library. But what we think here, can we bring the libraries to your desktops? Or can we bring the libraries to your offices? Is there a way? It's a simple thing. How many of you written a postcard or email or post mail to your friend earlier days? When was that? That's not an official. A postcard or a postal letter or postal mail. Not for the official purposes. The personal, communicating with your friends. How long ago? 95? 97? Not yesterday or day before yesterday?
2000.
No? Just imagine, look at 15 years back. How are you doing that one? Not this many years? No, am I right?
2005.
Oh, see, you're calling them. See, if you stick to the postal emails, probably you may not go for the new kind of approaches. This is what we are seeing, how best we can use these advances or the modern technologies into our existing activities. That's what we are trying. If you can look at some of these platforms, and some of you are having accounts on these things also, you can see the Facebook, it's part of our life. And we see how many likes I'm receiving for my posts and everything. So far we have almost like 829 million users on average log on to Facebook daily. Just 829 million users. Imagine, every day they're logging into the platform. And more than 1 billion unique users visit YouTube each month. Over 6 billion hours of videos are watched each month on YouTube. And 100 hours of videos are uploaded on YouTube every minute. 100 hours per minute across the globe. And at the same time, LinkedIn, you can see almost like 277 million professionals are there, and the Wikipedia are more or less similar. But it covers whole range of activities, whole range of areas. If you could look at the agriculture, very minimal. We can't find, even if you can take a kind of small activity or an exercise on Wikipedia, if you type a high-yielding variety, you ended up getting half a page. Okay, but if you type Boeing 777 or any kind of technology one, you ended up getting million searches. Okay, why? The reason behind this one is most of the times the levels between the subject matter experts and the technocrats, they do not match, especially the agriculture. Otherwise, there are some apprehensions. If you can look at in typical agriculture university structure or something, they have the computers, but the faculty members, they don't access the computers. Either they are helped by their secretaries. It's a simple tool. Unless and until they enhance their capacities, they may not enjoy these contemporary benefits. We need to help them, and we need to bring these people to a common platform and to see what are the challenges and how best we can address these challenges by working together. The biggest challenge is how do we bring these people together to a common platform. When we understood that one, we established a Center of Excellence in ICT innovations for agriculture. The idea of this particular platform is how best we can bring these interdisciplinary teams together and look at the wide variety of the interventions or the challenges from farm to fork, and how best we can bring some kind of new innovations and initiatives. It's right next to this door. And it's not a big labs like big structures. You can see all the computers or the laptops or the mobile phones where they are developing some apps and some novel platforms. So that's a decent lab. You feel free to go there and interact with the scientists and as well as the scientific officers and the fellows. They are working on various activities. And when I say these ICTs, it's not only the computers and internet. It may be anything like radio, telephone, mobile phone, or a simple CD or video, whatever that may be. What we believe, what would work in a best given kind of situation, that's very, very important. Social acceptance of the technology is important. How many of you are aware of the pagers? How popular those were when they first came into the world? Were they popular? Where are they now? Okay. Here the best learning point is we don't use the technology for the sake of using the technology. The acceptance of the technology and the use of the technology is very important. It's just a vehicle. Okay. Our interest is how best we can use these vehicles to transmit our information or the knowledge to our target audience or recipients. That's an important thing. That's what we are aiming at, that one. So that's where we are coming to that one. Most of us carry out the research activities. Essentially the first outputs what we produce is the data. Most of this data is in numbers. And if you don't process those numbers, the statistical analysis, we don't derive the information. And unless and until we apply that information and match with our experiences, we don't bring the knowledge or we don't produce the knowledge. That's why most of our activities, I'm sure like Chukka is going to focus on this particular area and provide you the full details, what we are doing here and what we are going to do here. And if you see any kind of collaborative activities, you are encouraged to initiate the discussions. When we started this activity, it's a very, very young unit at ICRUSAC because most of our data either buried in their scientist field books, otherwise in their computers. It's not available to the other scientists, otherwise other fellow members. We thought like how best we can unlock this potential of the data sets available in somebody, because to develop a past pedigree, otherwise to bring the predictions which requires last 60 years data. And a scientist, if they have that particular data, they can enhance their research activity. And sometimes they can avoid doing the repetitive research if they would get an access to that data. We started with various platforms, but at the same time, still we reached at a stage from these textbooks and computers to the data management platforms for various disciplines. Still we can reach beyond this stage. So that's where we are seeing the centralized data repositories. That's how we are advocating, because the analytics are important. So how best we can have a decentralized data management platform with a central data repository. Once you have the central data repository, once you get these data sets, you can play in your data analytics platforms. It's more like if you have a song, you can play it in anywhere. You can play it in your tablet, or you can play it in your mobile phone. You can play it in your computer or an audio box or whatever that may be. You're choosing your desired platform. He is going to explain in a great detail about that one, and it essentially contributes to enhance your existing research activities. The next step comes once you go for this analysis after your research activity, you publish these results in the publications. Okay, most of these publications are either buried in those journals or the conference proceedings. Okay, for example, if you publish a paper in a journal, would you be able to share that one to your fellow member? You can share it if you can pay the journal subscription. Am I right? And even if you write a book, the publisher, you get some free copies. Still you need to share that one. You need to pay for your own paper. Am I right? You're writing and you need to pay for your own work. So that's where we are seeing how best we can unlock this one. That doesn't mean like we are not encouraging these people to commercialize these research results, but we are encouraging, as an author, you are allowed to share the preprint or the post-print documents in an open access repository. We actually adapted these open access results in 2009, and we are advocating this one. So the idea here is how best we can unlock the best papers or this knowledge available with the scientific fraternity to the global community. So you name a scientist, all their publications are available on this ICRUSAT platform. And we call that one oar.icrusat.org. You don't need to come to the library and access to this one. Other than that, we also bring our partners' publications also onto this platform. And even at a CZIAR wide, now we have this platform also, and we collectively work on these initiatives with the other CZIAR centers also. And other than this, sometimes like scientists are looking for the collaborative activities. They wanted to share their exciting research results till waiting for 2 years or 3 years to publish these data sets or the information and what they are finding some exciting thing. So you can reach only to your fellow member or to your lab mates, but we have an opportunity, like you can give a seminar which can be watched by members from different countries. That's where we developed a simple platform that's called KSIConnect, a virtual knowledge series platform. Every Thursday, our scientists deliver a seminar. Other than that, whoever visits here, we encourage them to share their research experiences and knowledge. And we live stream that one, and you can participate virtually as a virtual participant and have the live interactions also. You can post a question and get a response instantly. Sometimes when you are on travel, you may not be able to appear for the face-to-face, at the same time even the live interactions also. That's where we also record these sessions and make it available offline, so you can watch it later stages and also still participate in the discussions in a forum kind of approach. That's one thing. See, if you can see, most of these are innovatives. If you can look at what are the impacts we are creating out of this one, if you can look at this open access repository, though it's look like a simple platform, earlier the citation number is very minimal, because when they code this one, and that's a minimal. But now the publications are reaching more than 100 countries. The citation number has been increased. It's a win-win situation for both the scientists as well as an organization also, how organization enhancing their efficiencies and the capabilities. If you could look at this KSIConnect, and it's almost like reaching more than 180, Upinder, or even we have the number increased. 160? 160 plus countries. It's almost reaching now 160 plus countries. We just started a routine activity. For example, if you produce a video, you need to spend almost like $2,000 or 100,000 Indian rupees to produce a quality video. Our friend from Digital Green is here. Okay, not yet. Okay, but that's what we pay. But we produced these videos over a period of time. In just a year time, we produced more than 500 videos. It's a simple process, and we are making sure how best we make our knowledge is available. At the same time, it also helps to serve as open educational resources also. And we are bringing this kind of virtual learning platforms also. If you can look at that one, innovations in capacity building. So what essentially, let me give you an example. Like last year, we invested $1 million. The same way how you people are sitting here and listening to these experts and the knowledgeable people, what they're bringing from their expert area or from their particular areas and sharing with the participants. Though we spent $1 million, and we would be able to reach only 407 participants last year. Okay, we brought a simple platform called Agate Open Courseware. That's an open source platform. We hosted all these modules, the learning modules. We codified this knowledge, make it available to the global community. Now we have more than 5,000 learner participants on this platform and reaching to more than 145 countries. So the face-to-face training programs are very, very effective. That doesn't mean we stopped organizing face-to-face training programs. We do organize the face-to-face programs, but we see how best we can complement or supplement to this kind of face-to-face training programs by bringing this kind of virtual learning platforms. It's a kind of blended learning approach. We are advocating that one. Okay. We not only host our training modules or the course curriculum, we also encourage our partners to host their course curriculum. Like FAO, they host their core curriculum on this platform. ICR is part of that one. You can see number of courses on this particular platform. And there are in 3 different categories. Like some courses are free, open to everybody. You don't need to provide any details. Some are like private, protected private courses. Instructors may require some kind of details from you to allow you to access the content. Some are protected, the commercialization. But as long as in our concern, we see these are IPGs, international public goods, so we don't see the commercialization aspect. And most of these virtual knowledge networks or this kind of opportunities are very well exploited by the corporates, and they are taking benefits, and some extent the institutions like technology institutions in western part of the world and here also. You can see some platforms. Let me give you an example here, and these are the some initiatives. Even Chris is knowledgeable person than me, and she been doing her research work in this area. She is bringing some kind of perspectives in her talk on tomorrow, or day after tomorrow, in her discussions, okay, how we are combining some of these virtual realities and everything. And this is a kind of, even you can immerse yourself, that's like a slow little second life, and how we can combine model with the second life and everything. And some of the platforms you can see Khan Academy that became popular and serving the kids and bringing the knowledge to them, and also the other gateway to the educational material. This is a platform which providing opportunities to the teachers and the instructors to get these materials and also see how best they can use into their curriculum. And Merlot Multimedia Educational Resources and Learning Object Repository, MIT OpenCourseWare, this is an engineering school. So several opportunities. Can anybody name one particular platform for agriculture in this room? But that's not a course, am I right? Agropedia, we are part of that one, madam. But anything else other than ICRUSAT, I can say Ag Ed Open Courseware, okay? But anything else other than that, have you heard of anything? The distance learning, yeah. So there are few initiatives. Even Chris can say they have their, what is that, Chris, yours?
I don't know, the one science consortium?
No, the other one, even, no. You have this African platform, the Gates Found, AgShare. Say AgShare, but very few initiatives, unlike in other areas. But even, see, one or two individuals know. Why the MIT OpenCourseWare very popular, most of the individuals know. Even in the other engineering institutes like IIT Chennai, they have the Akalavya, but not at that big scale. So can we bring all these platforms together and make it available on one common platform which can be popularized and allow global community to access this kind of materials? So that kind of efforts, and even there are some technological things we may need to learn, like shareable content object, because when we are creating this kind of learning modules or the course curriculum, it's an expensive affair. Unlike the traditional preparations, we are digitizing that one, am I right? We need resources, economic resources. It's a time consuming and an expensive affair. Here what we need to focus on, we are not focusing on the technology aspect, or we are not focusing on the technology part, though that provides a support. Because most of us, our interest is much more on the subject matter or the knowledge part or on the content part. And the technology should not become a barrier. Okay, how we can break these barriers and make sure like we make the content available. For example, if I develop some content on .tcs, if I don't have the plugins, if I can't access that one, there is no use of that one. That's where the world brought some kind of interoperable features, and it started with shareable content object reference model and instructional management systems, aviation industry computer-based training committee, IEEE standards. There are several standards to enable how we can play this content among and across various learning management systems. There are two different components are important when we are creating this kind of course curriculum. One is content modeling part, or how we need to design this course curriculum for the digital learning platforms. If we need to develop a video production or these things, we need to make sure we are doing that one. And the second part would be runtime environment, how we are providing this content on a particular platform or hosting this content on a particular platform to make sure this reaches to the end user. Whatever the platform, you can use the simple CDs also. You are ensuring how this reaches to that one. That's where sometimes we need to see the pluralistic approaches. So far we have discussed this is a framework, and we will provide you some papers also to better understand that one. So far we talked about these web platforms and everything which the allied groups can access, read and write people can access, like educated people can access. How do we reach out to the smallholder farmers? That's again a challenge. Because in many cases, the smallholder farmers in developing countries, because we can find the smallholder farmers mostly in developing countries. Why we say the smallholder farmers, and many of you come from the agriculture area, you know the categorization, large farmers, marginal, small. And because that's purely based on their land holdings and the other criteria, we are defining them or we are categorizing them into that particular one. And most of these individuals are illiterate or semi-literate. And can you ask those people to access this kind of platforms or everything? It's a challenging, am I right? That's where we need to see, we need to better understand what are the existing information flows and how we are doing this one. And no doubt extension played a key role in advancing this kind of knowledge transfers, even in the Green Revolution. Now it's happening in the same way. But we have several challenges, like most of these extension systems are inadequate with infrastructure and human resources. If you could look at Indian case, it's almost like a 1,000, 1:2,000, like one expert for 2,000 farmers. It's very challenging. And other than that, how many of you participated in surveys? So that may be socio-economic survey or election survey. Anybody participated here? Now raise your hand. So we are all here to share our experiences and everything, okay? See, these are the activities does not comes under your job responsibilities. As a government officer, we need to take these assignments because we are receiving these instructions from the organizations for the benefit of the society, okay? But if you can count on these things other than the distribution of seeds and everything, if you allocate your full time for the extension activities to help the smallholder farmers, if you could look at the math, and one farmer usually gets only 40 minutes per year by a government extension agent, because we have 6,75,000 villages, we have somewhere around just close to 100,000 extension officers. And now few state governments, they took a big initiatives to improve these numbers in Tamil Nadu. I'm sure like now they are improving the numbers. Am I right, Shanti madam? Yeah, they are bringing. That's one way to do that one. But still, can we have that kind of big number? Can we establish the offices to all these offices? Or is there any other way we can reach out to that one? How many people can you meet, Dr. Patro, in a day to provide your pathology knowledge and address their pathological symptoms? 4 to 5? That's a good number. How many, Dr. Shanti? 2 to 3? Sir Venkanaidu, sir?
5 to 6.
5 to 6. Okay. Sir Gurumurthy, sir?
20 to 25.
Sir Anand, you are 40 to 50. Can you reach 200 people in a day? Can you reach them over a mobile phone? Through mobile, it's possible. See, this is where we see the ICTs has a role and an opportunity. How we can leverage the efficiencies of the existing infrastructure and the human resources. How we can empower them and how we can leverage these resources. This is where we are seeing how we can introduce these information and communication technologies, because this is, you people are saying this is possible. Okay, when we realized that one, we first started with the web-based approaches. Even Thiru was part of that one during our experimental hubs when he was here at ILRI. But we need to conduct an assessment study. Like we need to understand how these farmers are satisfying their needs. If you can look at that one, there are 3 primary information resources they are looking at that one, which is available in those typical remote rural regions. And the primary resources are, you can see, the family, friends, or the neighbors who are not very well informed about these modern science practices. Most of their experiences or knowledge actually they gain based on their trial and error practices. And the secondary information sources are pesticide and fertilizer shop owners who never bothered about the welfare of the farming community. The resources are the natural resource management agencies which are inadequate with these infrastructure and human resources. Not only this is the study from Microsat, and even MSSR have conducted the similar kind of study. And they do that one before they set up these village knowledge centers. Even some other organizations like SEVA, they do this kind of assessment studies. And even not only we, National Sample Survey Organization, when they have conducted a study, you can look at like most of their needs are satisfied by the progressive farmers. It's a National Sample Survey Organization. And the other one coming, I think, next year, because usually they conduct these studies periodically once in 10 years or sometime. Am I right? So last time when they conducted, they found it, and 40% of farmers ready to give up agriculture if they find alternative livelihood opportunities. None of the farmers wanted to see the second generation in agriculture. These are the scenarios. So how best we can change those scenarios, because we are talking about the improving the production one way, and we are talking about farmers giving up agriculture in another way. What is happening? And in between the research organizations and the international research centers and the academic institutions, they always claim, hey, we produced a beautiful hybrid and we brought this new method which can improve the production. So this is not reaching to these individuals because of these inadequacies in the existing extension systems. So this is where we made our effort. First we started with these web-based platforms, and some of you are aware of these village knowledge centers and the telecenter movement, and also the village resource center, everything. Though these platforms show a new direction and how best they can produce these localized knowledge by strengthening the content, connectivity, and also the capacity building aspect. But again, we started establishing a new layer. We are investing in the infrastructure to build this kind of structures. And there are knowledge center operators. We are training them as a facilitators. These are like para extension officers. We are again investing in the human resources. Though we are using ICTs, we are introducing with an objective to minimize these investments and address the challenges. When we realized when we realized like sometimes it may fail to establish the last mile connectivity of these earlier ICT platforms, we started looking at, can we use the mobile phone? There is a power in that one. Then we started looking at how best we can use these mobile phones to make sure reach out this information to the farmers. Then we started sending these text-based services, SMS, short message service. But again, the challenge is, though it's in a regional language, most of them they can't read, they can't send these messages. Again, they need to depend on somebody else. And then we started looking at, can we send voice messages? Because what we found, these farmers are not literate individuals. They did not go to schools, but they know how to count money. They know how to count bags. There is a functional literacy. And even they did not take any training to operate these mobile phones. How many of you took training to know how to operate a mobile phone after you purchase a new phone? Is anybody there? At least when you go for a smartphone, you may ask your friend, but you don't go undergo a training like 3 days or 4 days like this, am I right? Do you go, you pay for that? No, am I right? So what is happening, we stopped investing in the capacity building. Mobile phones are there. We are not buying and giving a mobile phone to a farmer. Everybody is having a mobile phone. If you can look at, because there was a Hindu article, like it's my favorite example, I always quote that one, and that's in the first page, in the front page, that says like, now we have more mobile phones than the toilets. The toilet is a basic need. Some of you might have read that one, okay? So these are the basic needs, but we feel the mobile is a need too. And you can find from the even vegetable vendors, everybody is having a mobile phone. And even we can't imagine those people also having the mobile phones. Okay, that's the mobile revolution. And we need to thank to those organizations who contributed. So when we started sending these voice messages in 3 different ways, that's export to farmer, and this is more like a push-based services, more generic services. And the other one is farmer to export, okay? This is more like a personalized services. We need to understand the challenges from the farmers and also bring these information services, personalized services. And the other one is peer-to-peer, how we can facilitate this peer-to-peer communication from farmer to farmer, otherwise among the experts. Like if I would not be able to address a question, how I can take the help of my fellow friend and can get the answer and provide this one. But again, the challenge what we found, there was an outbound service. We received a funding from ICR. Some of you also have the projects, NEIP, National Agriculture Innovation Project. The challenge here is we need to pay for these mobile costs, and each call costs 80 paisa. okay? And if I need to send a message to 100,000 farmers, almost like I need to pay 100,000 into 80 paisa. It's an expensive affair, okay? As long as I have this money, project money, I can execute these activities. What happens if I don't have the project money? This is where we started looking at the private sector partnership, and that's where we have initiated discussions with a mobile company called Airtel. And we discussed, can you guys work with us on corporate social responsibility? And they started working with us, and they have asked, like, what is the business model in this one? The business, how do we see? In some cases, like, though that's a corporate social responsibility, at the same time, they say, is there any business model? Then we started looking at how can we make it financially sustainable. Their interest is to increase their customer base and to have the retention power of the customer. Tomorrow, if some mobile company comes and they bring some kind of very attractive services, and the rural mindset is very quick to change, okay, unlike the urban people, because if you use a toothpaste, it's very difficult to change your mindset. You get used to that one. Unless and until you receive some information from various people, it's very difficult to change your mindset. But always these people, they look for that one. Like, if they find it interesting, why not we try? So that's where, like, even you can see in rural areas, they started even the small shops and everything. And the other way is they don't have many opportunities also. So in those things, like, they started seeing how they can capture the rural market. That's where we have created, why not we can have a kind of SIM card like Green SIM. It's a regular SIM card, but at the same time, it provides you 5 value-added agriculture advisory services. So that's how we designed, and it's not only focused on agriculture, at the same time health, and the other livestock, weather, market, 16 different categories of the services. I'm sure like Sumant, Kanika, and Nilesh can bring more light on this one during their sessions. They are going to explain more what we are doing here in those particular platforms. But again, it's a push-based service. There are several initiatives on this particular one, rural markets, RML, Nokia Life Tools, and everything. So what we need to look at is how best we can address the personalized advisory services. It's a pull-based service. We talked about farmer to expert. That's where we need to understand the challenges or the problems what they are facing. So we started developing several modules. That's a farmer registration module. First we register them, and we conduct, it's a throughout the value chain approach, and we conduct the soil analysis. That's a soil health. And we identify the deficiencies in the soil. We provide the personalized recommendations. Then again, it's an advisory. That's a seed to seed. And then market information services also. They are going to show you the software also, what we are doing. And our colleagues here, Nunk Systems, they actually develop those modules. And even again, it's a kind of partnership approach. They're not expecting anything, and it's a co-creation agreement. We are seeing like whether we can work together and submit the proposals and how best we can leverage these opportunities further. It's a win-win situation for both the organization. Interestingly, what we found, and we need to bring these apps onto a smartphone, otherwise we need to have a tablet kind of equipment. Okay, when the smartphones, again, nobody has the smartphones. This is where we are seeing farm facilitators are the new players. We call them info entrepreneurs or the para extension professionals. These are not the paid individuals, but these are the individuals generate the revenue out of their activities. Some initiatives were there earlier, like agri clinics and everything. But those are like more like, again, setting up these shops or centers. But this is where what we are seeing when we are having these tablets, it's again like an Amazon or eBay kind of platform. It's a virtual transactions we are enabling because we have the opportunities like Airtel Money, M-Pesa. These are opportunities. How we can minimize these transactions throughout the value chain, because if a product needs to reach to an end user, that go to into several transaction layers, company and a national distributor, state level distributor, and the regional level distributor, and all these, each layer adds a transaction value. Can we minimize these transactions and make it one, the farm facilitator or an implementing organization? It worked out very well. We started with the talk time with the Airtel people. When they sell the green SIM, they agreed to pay 10 rupees to the info entrepreneur. and they agreed to pay 10 rupees to the organization because we don't identify anybody as an info entrepreneur or a para extension officer. There is a selection process. They need to affiliate an organization to make sure they are accountable to these activities. So they started earning income. If you could look at in one location, we started these experiments in 3 different kind of setups. One is an NGO model to better understand dimensions and dynamics with Rural Development Trust in Anantapur. I'm sure some of you are here. So they are helping us. And the other one is the government extension model from Karnataka. Government of Karnataka is part of that one as part of our Bhuchetana activity. And the other one is microfinance activity in Mehboob Nagar. I'm sure from KVK somebody is here who are part of this one. Are they joining with us this afternoon? Masaya, KVK Mehboob Nagar. Okay. So they are part of this one. What we are trying to understand these different dimensions and the dynamics on these particular activities. This is how we are ensuring how we can create financial sustainable platforms rather than the social sustainable initiatives. And at the same time, when they found this is useful, they wanted to sell their talk time. They conducted a study. The average talk time spending capacity in a typical rural village by a rural resident is 300 rupees to 3,000 rupees. Okay, and that's just $6 to $60. Okay, and they told like, can we replace these commission agents, our commission agents, with these farm facilitators? We would like to pay a commission, 7% commission. See, what they wanted to do is they wanted to eliminate these transactions. That worked out very well. One individual, they have generated $600 for a month. That's a lot of money in a typical rural community, am I right? So these are the learnings, what we are learning, but at the same time, now we are seeing the opportunities. Can we scale up these activities? And few people, they have asked us, like they are very ambitious. They have initiated discussions. Can we replicate this one 13 different countries in Africa? It's not possible because we need to understand the local conditions or the situations. These are the generic models, worked very well in this particular country. If we need to replicate that one, what we need to do, what are the variables and what are the constants, and how do we need to position in those areas. So we always need to better understand through the pilots, then only we need to scale up that one. That's how we have an experimental hub in a location called Mehboob Nagar in other areas. We first understand ourselves before we share these research results to our fellow friends or the partners, colleagues. And we never participate directly, upscale these activities. We always go with the national systems, otherwise big NGOs, otherwise the government agencies. They are the partners to help us in upscaling this one to see the impact. If we do this one in small pockets, we may not be able to see those greater impacts, but it's always the greater impacts comes from the scaling up or replication activities. If Green Revolution happened in only Punjab, we may not have seen the revolution because that spread across the nation. Okay, we all talked about these information services, but at the same time, we also touched on these education aspects for the allied groups. What is happening on the farmers front? So we started looking at these participatory extension video approaches, how we are enabling them to create these video modules by themselves with the support of the expert institutions in the particular location, as well as the consortium body who is a part of this one. And the Digital Green partnering with us, and we started working in Bhuchetana project. It worked out very well, and even they found like it's 10 times superior than the classic extension system. This is in our experimental hub. Last year, whoever participated in the capacity building activity, we have an opportunity to take them. But you are most welcome to visit with your colleagues next time when you are here. This time we are not placing this one as part of this capacity building activity, but you will have an opportunity to interact with the farming community during your one of hands-on sessions as part of the ICT for Development exposure. Not only this one, even we do have various kinds of other activities like micro-level drought preparedness. That's why we are all bringing this one as part of ICT for Development umbrella. And even for this business model, we also received an award from Rural Marketing Association Limited, and they are saying we have demonstrated a particular model which showcasing innovative use of technology of the decade. So how we can create financially sustainable models. Other than that, we sometimes, we also look at what is happening in other parts of the world. As I mentioned, what we need to see. And we are part of Global Food Security Consortium with Iowa State University. We wanted to learn what is happening in that part of world and what are the best learning experiences we can bring it here. At the same time, we provide the feedback loops, and also we see what we are sharing from this part of the world to that part of the world. And other than that, now University of Florida and Recruitment, we offer these short courses, and now we are graduating to a one agriculture, one science initiative. How best we can further upscale this one by bringing all the national agriculture systems, and we are going to have a big session. Chris is going to explain, and also the other steering committee members of this particular initiative. They are going to share. We just started this one, but it attracted the attention of many individuals, and also we will be launching a platform on 4th, and you are all part of that one. That's a National Academy for Indian Agriculture. We encourage you to be part of that one in a capacity of content creators or subject matter experts and everything. On the third evening, we will be able to create some groups based on your interest, based on your availability, based on your commitment. Okay. Other than that, the codification of the knowledge we can discuss a little bit, because 2 plus 2 is not equal to 4 anywhere in agriculture, because there are abiotic factors. We may not be able to have our control on them. That's where we talk about the climate change. We are also part of an initiative called Agriculture Model Intercomparison and Improvement Project. How best we are bringing crop, climate, and economic models together, integrating with information and technology tools. We are supporting projects and covering the entire South Asia and understanding different kind of parameters. Can we codify this knowledge, include that one as a knowledge base in the tablet-based application, rather than purely depending on package of practices? So these are some of the activities we are doing. You are encouraged to explore further during these sessions, and also interacting with all the colleagues here. And why we are doing this one, if you could look at the impact structure, it's actually extracted from a McKinsey report. If you can see this one, by 2025, you can see the estimated potential impact of technologies across its sized applications are mobile internet, that stands on the top, and you can see the numbers. Those are amazing numbers. And then you can see the other areas, even the cloud computing, Internet of the Things, automation of knowledge work, all 4 or 5 areas related to this area. So, but essentially it's not only agriculture, it cut across various areas. It's becoming part of our life. Other than that, you can see the agriculture productivity gap, the opportunities, what mobiles has. So this is a basic framework what we are following. I'm sure like they are going to explain in a great detail when you will be participating in ICT for development. There are steps involved in this one. What are the influencing factors? And also what are the functional factors that make these initiatives more successful? And this is an emerging paradigm. The simple model or a technique in any kind of appropriate knowledge sharing through the innovative technologies is how we are aggregating the knowledge and how we are validating before disseminating that one by using wide variety of platforms. It's a simple 3-step process, but involves a lot of researchable areas and also a lot of technologies. Because when I say how we are aggregating the knowledge, there are various kinds of platforms, social collaborative tools and other kind of approaches. The validation mechanism, it sounds like very simple, but how do we establish the committees? What is the review committee? Who are the people review this one? Because we need to ensure we are disseminating the validated knowledge. And the third one is when we are distributing this one, there are several issues, the legal issues, technical issues, the political issues. There's so many issues comes into the picture. What kind of platforms do we need to use? And can we open up this one? And who owns the rights when we are sharing this one? All sorts of the things. Though it looks simple, but the researchable areas are important. You can see some are like Web 2 techniques. And because the web can be divided into 3 different categories, we can have a discussion later and how this evolution of web is taking place, and open access repositories, and also the ICT for development, open distance learning and extension. All these essentially contribute to this particular model, but what we do not neglect, otherwise what we believe, our strength is always the partnerships. We believe in our partners, though we are not bringing many people as an employees of our program, but we always believe in our strength of our partners and even contributing to these initiatives. That's where we follow our approach and our strength. And what we advocate is sharing the right information with the right people at the right time through the right channel. Thank you. Okay, we can take one or two questions. There are two things. If there are no questions, probably if you understand everything, otherwise you did not understand anything, otherwise you exhausted.
One of the things we were, one of the things which, kind of thing which is kind of, how do you actually scale things up? Scaling up of most of the activities, right? Because given that, there is a resource crunch, and then, how best can we, one of the things which you were saying is a similar activity which we did was voice-based SMS. And that show was expensive. And now we are looking at what is that, how can we actually scale things up so that, one of the points which NSSO has said, the efficacy of KVK is about 0.7%. Input dealers and whereas the progressive farmers constitute about 37% of information to the farmers. So can we actually tap into these progressive farmers? Can we tap into these input dealers? Because make them a part of the core group that can actually give information. Because one of the things which you were just asking was, we can reach, like say 5%, 10%, or Dr. Venkanayake said 20 people or 40 people, and we can scale up to 200 through ICT. Can we actually look at linking up ICT tools so that, excuse me, so that we have our input dealers and progressive farmers in our knowledge base so that they can disseminate information much better than what we think we are. So something which we are looking at now.
See, the question, let me understand clearly. You are asking how we can upscale these activities when we are dealing with the resource crunch.
Right.
When we don't have many resources, how do you asking us to upscale or scale up these activities to see the real impacts? Am I right? Yeah, let me give an example, sir. So see, when we have started this activity, this tablet-based activity, the first part what I believe is, like, you need to have the firm commitment and the belief. I don't say like you don't neglect these resources. Always there is a way out. Let me share our own experiences. When we wanted to introduce this tablet-based application, the app development and everything, we haven't started with NUNC systems that time, okay? We started with a big, giant software company, okay? We went through the process and we spent almost like an year on a cost-sharing approach. And just a week before, they challenged us, hey, you guys need to pay $500,000, otherwise we would not be able to participate with you. We did not give up that one. And they are kind enough, they have agreed to join with us. In just a 5 days time, we developed everything and we launched that one. That did not stop us. It's a commitment. And what we have done in this particular process, we have invested whatever the resources we have. And at the same time, we requested our partners to cost share to see this is a novel idea. If they believe, if they have a buy-in, and now that attracted the attention of many individuals, attracted the other projects. If we would have waited for some kind of funding, we would not have started our activities by that time. You start small and see if you show a new model or a new approach, automatically you will have a buy-in. Because even if you look at yourself, you have a product, you would like to pay for that one. You have a concept, somebody comes and tell you, hey, this is a paper, I have a beautiful concept, would you pay for this one? Would you pay for that? And somebody comes, the second person comes to show you, hey, this is a product, would you like to buy that one? One person showing, I would be able to develop this one. One person showing, I have developed this one. These are the two approaches. But what he has developed, that's a prototype. He has developed a toy aeroplane which you cannot travel, but he is demonstrating this is how it would work. Can we build a big aeroplane if you have a buy-in? So the same big giant company wanted to come in and join with us now because we have shown that one. So this is one thing, what we need to see. And it works in some cases, and we need to, it's not the same approach works in all the cases. We need to see what we need to do to get that thing done. It's always like a commitment.
Also made is that we have enough number of tools, but the point which we're missing most of the times, actually on the scale I'm talking about, not on small experiments that we've done enough number of things, is the last mile connectivity. You know, if you look at the databases that the agriculture department has started or ICA has started, the number of users are little, absolutely little. You know, they spend 10 crores, they have 6,500 users. But we need to look at actually how best can we be innovative. I mean, I'm just sharing some of the things.
Oh yes, I agree with you. That's why I'm saying
we're going through is that
what I mentioned, I'm not denying like only these are the initiatives. We have several initiatives, but how we can bring these initiatives together to avoid this repetitive investments and to have a common platform, how we can grow big collectively and to show a new direction for achieving greater impacts. That's the whole idea. That's why I'm saying it's a partnership approach. We believe in the partnership approach. How we are bringing these like-minded people together, how we are bringing these like-minded, if you can see in each and every initiative, it's not only we doing with our partners. It's not only ICRUSAT and partners. That's what we believe. It's not the only KVK, it's not the only ICR. That's our approach. That's how we are avoiding these investments, repetitive investments. We don't want to reinvent the wheel if our partners are doing some great things. Can we learn? Can we use? Or can we see what we need to do best to bring those experiences here? This is the approach we need. That's our approach. Maybe there are better approaches available, exists in the world also. We need to see what best suits to our conditions. You don't need to follow the ICRUSAT approach. You don't need to follow our approach if you find a better approach. Any other this side, sir?
Sir, in case of green sim and voice messages, since the farmer's need will be different to different person, then whether the messages you are sending will be uniform to all the green sim holders, or it will be different to different farmers?
I have mentioned two different approaches, sir. One is a push-based information delivery approach, and the other one is a pull-based information delivery approach. When we are pushing these information advisory services, that's common for everybody. The 5 messages are common for everybody. And the pull-based information advisory, these are like premium services. These are like personalized advisory services. You are performing or conducting these soil tests and everything, and you are mapping out those farmer profiles also. Okay, that's a pull-based information delivery approach. Together we are saying it's a pull and push based approach which actually contributes to that bigger platform. Thiru, don't ask tough questions.
Oh, no.
If you have any tough questions, we can discuss.
Very simple question. So I don't have any doubt about the ICT ability to deliver the extension services to a better manner. But I have a little bit an issue. When we engage more of ICT in delivering these extension services, I think we are moving towards a paid extension services. So is there, looking at the larger context of Indian structural change in Indian agriculture, when the farmers are quitting the agriculture, as the reason is one of the input costs are rising. So whether is there any alternative ways to make this ICT enabled delivery of extension without much of cost?
Okay, that's a good question, Thiru. And even when I thought about you, and even in the program, if you could look at, I deliberately put one session, ICT mediated extension Hyper Hope. Have you seen that one, the title? And I requested VP Sharma to deliver the lecture. Thiru, that's a good question. Like when we say the paid extension, if something comes cheap, like without cost, there is no value for that one. If anything comes free, there is no value. But having said that, the paid extension, it ensures the financial sustainability. But what we need to understand in the entire mechanism, who are paying for this extension, okay? To use an Amazon, if you need to pay for something, you don't like to use that one. That's typical mindset, what we have. At least The people whom I know in this part of world, they have a typical mindset of that one. If something comes free, web means everything should come freely to me. I don't like to pay. Why do I need to pay for an information service? I better ask my friend and get that one. If there is a book available that costs $100, first thing what we do, any open versions available rather than paying $100. Am I right? And sometimes what they do, they provide this one, 2 pages or 3 pages, attract your interest, and then they ask for that one if you have a buy-in. They don't release the book. It's in the similar way why I am saying these kind of examples. The paid extension like Amazon or eBay, they don't charge from the users who are actually providing and making this sustainable. That may be the advertisement. Otherwise, even these companies for the subscriptions, they are paying to make those platforms sustainable. But you need to have that critical mass. Amazon run their services in losses the first 5 years. They emerged as a big platform. That's a case study. Even if you can look at the TV channel, the Enadu television channel, they invested every day so much money till they get the advertisements. Okay, there are some revenue models. In this paid extension, when we are saying, here we are not asking farmers to pay for their services. We are not asking mobile companies to pay for these services. What we are asking, hey, we are bringing reforms in your existing systems. This is how we are saving the costs. Can we share these costs among the partners or the stakeholders? See how we can have a win-win situation. That's what we are advocating. When we say Airtel is paying 10 rupees, they're not paying full 10 rupees from their profits, otherwise from their investments. They are eliminating these layers, and whatever they are saving, they are sharing these profits, or they're sharing these savings. That's one approach. At the same time, the pesticide or fertilizer companies, we haven't reached that level. That's a complex one. We can provide a healthy competitive platform, but we would not be able to promote any product. Okay, that's the sensitivity involved in that one. How they are distributing this one, it's a distribution channel. How they are distributing, company produce some product. When that needs to reach to the farmer, there are the national distributor, the state level distributor, and finally the distributors at a regional level that comes to the fertilizer shop owners. That's why the margin is very less in the standard companies. But in the local companies, the margin is very high. The local products, they don't need to go through the same process. Okay, that's why most of these fertilizer companies, their intention to sell the local products to get more profits. But these big companies, they give some targets. Hey, if you reach to this target, we take you to Singapore. That's another kind of marketing channel. So can you eliminate taking them to Singapore, or maybe sharing these transaction costs to all these layers and save these costs and invest in this kind of platforms to show a new direction? Now these people are eliminating to have their offices, and they are asking them to rent a room when they have the meeting, and they are running mobile offices. The changes are happening. It's a right time. We need to tell them this is possible. That's what we are advocating. Okay, it's 10 o'clock. It's 11 o'clock now. It's time for to go. We will continue to have these discussions, and please feel free to reach out to me and my colleagues if you have any questions.